The Right2Know Campaign has released its latest secrecy report that takes a hard look at how state security mechanisms are being used to hide information from the public. Among the findings is a rise in secrecy and more national key points that ordinary citizens cannot access any information about.
So Right2Know secrecy report tries to measure and map the use of secrecy in state security policies in ways that undermine our democracy. And what we found is that, for instance, the use of national key points is on the increase. The use of militaristic policing of protests appears to be on the increase. And so we see this general trend towards securitization, which obviously has some worrying implications for our democracy.
So the whole question of secrecy, espionage, repression is integral. It's an integral part of capitalism, particularly monopoly capitalism, in this, what was long ago referred to in its imperialist phase. And it's really a question about power and having enemies or perceived threats. And this is why the struggle for information and the right to know and against secrets must be an integral struggle and part of those activities or the work of activists and communities.
So the report is being produced by a collective of researchers, many different organizations who work in these things, who have come together under the banner of the Right2Know to produce the report. And they're drawn from the data that we could get, and I have to emphasize that it was quite difficult to get information on this because there isn't enough transparency built into the system. So what we did is pull together data from wherever we can get it, from presentations to Parliament, from other research projects, from the annual reports of state institutions, from the media, wherever we can get it, to piece together a picture of what appears to be happening.
Surely this phenomenon of repression and secrecy is a global, international phenomenon. It is not confined to South Africa. And once again, it seems to me that from 2008, this particular problem or question has become much more intensified. It's always been around, but since the crisis has become intensified, is it a coincidence that we've had the WikiLeaks exposures?
Public order policing, which is the policing of crowd control and protest situations, has become very militarized in ways that lead to extraordinary levels of violence against protesters. And this is obviously means that people are not able to exercise their democratic right to protest in a peaceful way. But what has now been announced is that the policy will be demilitarized, which suggests that people won't be shot anymore, if that makes sense. But the solution has been to put a greater emphasis on what's called intelligence-led policing, which means information gathering, surveillance techniques. And there are concerns that that is an equally militaristic response, and it leads to an invasion of people's privacy. It brings police into a democratic space where it brings police into a situation where they're gathering information on leaders of democratic organizations, and that's deeply concerning as well.